Okay, part 2, rectangles. Now, you should have 3 canvases so far. All right, you need to save each one of those canvases as rectangles 1, 2, and 3 if you want, however you want to save them, into your sketching folder so that you have them for a later reference. Take your screenshots. Once again, your screenshot must include your icon up here where I can see the entire window and see that it is you logged in, that you're not just taking a screenshot of my video or something like that, which would be cheating. And there's other consequences to be dealt with when you do such a thing. So include your icon or initials up here so that I can see what you have done as your own work on your account. So we've got 3 screens there to submit, 3 screenshots, and our new canvas. So if you haven't already got one open, let's get a new canvas open. And let's create a sketch. And we're going to the top bottom plane. All right, we're going to start off with a rectangle. And we're going to do a 2-point rectangle. So let's go create rectangle and a 2-point rectangle. This is your shortcut here if you just want to click on that. Let's go to the origin, click, and we are going to make this 100 millimeters, tab by 75, and hit enter. Now, I can't see the entire tool or box. I have 2 options here. I can use the pan tool and bring it down. Escape out of the pan tool. I would like it a little bigger, so I can use the wheel on my mouse to scroll in and out, zoom in and out. And there we have a nice size to it. Now, we're just going to create a simple little container, okay? So I have the basic dimensions, 100 millimeters in the length and 75 millimeters in the width. And I need to create a wall, so to speak, off of this. But before we do this, I want to create the bottom. All right, so let's finish sketch. There's my rectangle. Notice my timeline down here. I keep harping on these things. The reason I do that is as we go further in class, your timeline is going to be very important to you. So that's why I keep saying, oh, look at your timeline. You've got a new item there. All right, so we are going to extrude the base, is what this is going to be, of our container. And we'll extrude it by 3 millimeters. All right, and click OK. Now, if I go to the home position, you'll see that my rectangle is now a 3D object, having been extruded up 3 millimeters. We are going to create a new sketch. Okay, create sketch. We are not going to select a plane. We're going to select the face, the top of our new design. And there we are. All right. Zoom out just a touch, and there is our shape. All right. Now, I have my lines here. So if I go hold the shift key and select all 4, there's my 4 lines. All right. So select the first line, hold your shift key, select the second line, select the third, and the fourth line. You have all four of those lines selected. We are going to offset these four lines we have. That means we're going to create another shape in the same pattern simply by offsetting it 2 millimeters. So up here in the modify menu, we haven't used the modify menu at this point. All right, we're going to use the offset tool. Notice the icon next to the offset tool in the drop-down menu. You can match that icon and see that it should be in your shortcuts, okay? So you could go directly to the shortcut, but we'll click on offset. And it's also had the letter O next to it, which means it has the keyboard shortcut O. Here's my offset palette. Okay. And I am going to offset by negative 2 millimeters. I could simply type that in, or I use the arrow keys to go -2. Notice how it projects a line for me in red. Click OK. And now I have essentially a line created identical to what I had drawn from my original sketch. Took me a second to get those words out. All right, so I have that sketched. Hit finish sketch. Now I could have drawn another rectangle. Just thought of this. Tried to draw another rectangle here, but I would have had to determine what the starting point is and where the ending point would be. I would know the dimensions because this is 100 millimeters, so I would have known it's 96 millimeters. But am I starting it 2 millimeters in? I could draw a construction line of 2 millimeters to give me a starting point. So draw one across 2 millimeters up and 2 millimeters across, or do a little construction rectangle, which is a 2 by 2, and it would have given me a starting point. The offset's a lot easier. Okay. All right. Finish sketch. Go to the home position. So we see, zoom in a little bit. There's my shape that I'm going to extrude up to create my walls. So let's go extrude. Select my profile to extrude. There's the profile. Notice how the outer circle turns blue, which means it's selected. And let's extrude it 45 millimeters. All right. And hit enter. So I now have a box. All right, now my design requires some circular corners on this box. So I'm going to flip it so that the top, I've got a little angle here, and I'm going to fillet these edges. Okay, these are the edges that are the height of the box, okay, that we just extruded up. So I'm going, there's my fillet tool, modify, fillet, it's got the F, so we could use the F, fillet, and the edges that I want to fillet are the first thing I select. So there's one. Come over here and select this one. Notice there's an internal one. That's not what I want. I want this outer edge. 2. I'm going to change my angle by clicking on the view cube and rotating it up. I have 2 edges selected. Notice my palette. It's telling me I have 2 edges selected. I want this outer edge here. 3. And this outer edge, 4. Okay, I have a dialog. If you look right down here, yours could be in a different position. I have a dialog. What degree curve am I going to put on these? Let's try 5 millimeters. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then click OK. Go back to the home position and notice I've rounded the edges of my container. All right, one last thing. The dimensions of my container are not accurate. They need to be changed. We've found the design flaws, maybe, and we need to change our dimensions. It needs to be 125 millimeters in the length and 100 millimeters in the width. That was all done in the initial sketch. Okay? Another good thing about using the offset tool, I offset it by 2 millimeters. That should adjust automatically. 2 millimeter wall thickness. I'm not changing that. So let's go back to our first sketch. Right click, edit sketch. Okay? Right click, edit sketch. Now, some of you are using devices that may not have a good mouse tool, and the right click is difficult. You can also double click, and it'll open the sketch for you. All right, so I believe I said we needed to be 125, so I'm going to change 125 by 100. Oops. 125, hit tab. By 100, hit enter. And there it is, redrawn my rectangle. I messed mine up when doing it because I tried to click in the other box before I closed this box. All right, so there we go. I said to hit tab. That's wrong. Why? There's nothing to tab to. You have to open them individually. So I made my adjustment, hit enter, then come over and double click on the other dimension to adjust it. Hit finish sketch, go home, and guess what? My shape, my design stays intact. Except now it's 125 millimeters by 100 millimeters. Everything else I did adjust. Okay? That is all we're doing for this sketch. Take a screenshot from the home position on your screen. Okay? Right here, take your screenshot, include your icon, save the file, rectangles tutorial project. Upload your screenshots as your assignment submission so that you will get credit. See you next time.